Beshear has shown up for us every day that he's been governor. When he was attorney general, he has never failed. He believes in the promise of public education in Kentucky just like we do, and we have to show up for him, and we have to get him across the finish line 4 more years. All right, I'm going to introduce, we're going to go really quickly because we have something to do when we leave here. We need to go vote. I'm going to introduce Tyler Murphy. Tyler is our FCPS school board chair, a teacher in Boyle County, and also on the NEA board of directors. He wears a lot of hats. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Tyler.
Thank you very much, Jessica. How is everyone feeling on this afternoon? 4 days until Election Day. I know many of you just came from the classroom. We have a few English teachers in here who could help Daniel Cameron out that a sentence contains more than a noun, a verb, and Joe Biden. But educators shape the future each and every day in our classroom. We know the stakes in this election, and we know that Andy Beshear and Jacqueline Coleman have been there for us every single step of the way. And you know what? Over these next 4 days, we have a chance to shape the future of this Commonwealth. Not only by going out and voting early, but getting our friends and our families to do the same, knocking on doors, carving out time for those shifts to make phone calls, knock on doors, go in our neighborhoods, in our community, post on social media, send messages to our friends and families and let them know the stakes in this election. Because Andy Beshear's been there for us for the past 4 years. We need to be here for him these next 4 days and carry him over the finish line so that he can continue fighting for our public schools. Public education is on the ballot. We know that. And there's one candidate in this race who has proven time and again that he believes in the work that we do each and every day in our classroom, who fights for the children that we serve each day in our classroom, especially the most vulnerable, whose lives are shaped and impacted by the work we do. So we're delighted to have the governor here and the lieutenant governor, and we're delighted to have the president of NEA here because the eyes of the nation are on Kentucky, and next Tuesday, November 7th, we're going to send a powerful message that if you come after educators, that is a losing message in Kentucky and across the country. And now I am delighted to hand the mic over to your KEA president, my friend, our advocate for educators each day in Frankfort, alongside Andy and Jacqueline, Eddie Campbell.
Hello, KEA! Hello, Fayette County! Are y'all ready to get out there and vote? Everybody get out. Today is the first day of early voting. I went early this morning. I made sure that I cast my vote, and I cast it for Andy Beshear. Our winning ticket. We've had no better advocate in the governor's office than Andy Beshear. You all remember the 4 years before 2019? We remember it bad. It was horrible. We couldn't have a greater advocate than Jacqueline Coleman in the lieutenant governor's seat. Andy and Jacqueline have been there every single day. They have been behind us. They have kept their promise time and time and time again, standing up for public education in the state of Kentucky because they know that sitting in our classrooms right now is the future of the Commonwealth. Sitting in our classrooms right now is an investment in the future of Kentucky, and we have to take charge and make sure that our pro-education governor and lieutenant governor get back in that office to make it happen again. And we are not holding any stops on this one. We brought in NEA President Becky Pringle to join us. And Tyler's right. He took all my talking points, so I'm going to have to make stuff up. Every single one of them. But yeah, I didn't have that. But the eyes of the nation are watching what's going on here in this race in Kentucky. They are watching to see what's going to happen. And I'll tell you what, in 2019, it was educators in the state of Kentucky that made it happen, that elected Andy Beshear to make sure that we were putting public education first in the state of Kentucky. And guess what? It will be educators in 2023 that make that happen again. We are the voice. We are the power. You have influence in every single community. You work with kids every day. You work with parents every day. And you deserve to have a governor and a lieutenant governor that are going to be standing behind you 110%. 110%. So are you ready to elect Andy back to office? Are you ready to stand up for public education? Oh, I feel the energy, and here we go. So I'm going to turn it over now to the first Governor Beshear. And I'm just going to tell you, I had the honor and the privilege, because I was an NEA director when Governor Beshear #1 ran for office. And I had the awesome opportunity of working with his campaign and running around the state and cheering on Steve Beshear. But here's a little known fact, and I don't know if the governor remembers, but very early on in my career, he hosted, as your first term, the Mountain Laurel Arts pageant in Pineville, Kentucky. And I got the honor of singing My Old Kentucky Home with this Governor Beshear. And that memory pops up on my Facebook every now and then. So I give you Governor Steve Beshear.
All right. My name is Steve Beshear, and I used to be somebody. Let me tell you who I was. I was the NEA Governor of the Year.
That's right.
And I'll tell you, there's another Beshear that ought to be NEA Governor of the Year. I can also, now's the time. I can also tell you that, yes, Andy is a Henry Clay Blue Devil. His older brother, Jeff, is a Henry Clay Blue Devil. And his mom, Jane, is a Henry Clay Blue Devil and a teacher. So, it runs in the family. You know, for 8 years, I had your back. Then for 4 years, we had to have each other's back. And now for the last 4 years, Andy and Jacqueline have had your back.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, there is no more important profession than being an educator, because we know what that means. That means the future. That means the future for our children. It means the future for our state. It means the future for our country. So don't let anybody ever tell you any different, and you stand up for it, and you stand up for freedom in the classroom, and to be able to teach our kids what they need to know to get on in this life. You know, it's my pleasure now to give you, and I kind of hate to say this, because you know I was a lieutenant governor at one time. But I got to introduce the best lieutenant governor we've ever had, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Governor Beshear. It's so great to be with you all today, with all of my educator friends and family. I remember standing shoulder to shoulder with you in our red t-shirts, fighting for our pensions that were dishonestly stuck in a sewer bill and passed in the dead of night, until Andy Beshear got a hold of it and got overruled by the Kentucky Supreme Court unanimously. And that is how you knew from the very beginning that Governor Beshear was going to have educators' backs, because he picked a classroom teacher. Y'all, I had to leave bus duty early to go meet with him about running together. That's how involved I was, right? And so from the very beginning, he has known that how important education is to this Commonwealth. And he has stood right with you all along, and he listens. I know we've been out with our Education First plans. I know we've been advocating for raises for all of you, and we're going to keep fighting for that every single day. But what you may not see are the phone calls that you get when we have questions about policy, when we want to know what KEA thinks about issues, when we need to appoint teachers to boards and commissions. You get phone calls. It is bigger than just what you see in the policy arena. It is truly about making sure that educators have a seat at the table. Have a seat at the table where people are making decisions that affect your classroom. We are committed to that. We've done it for 4 years, and guess what? We're going to do it for 4 more. And I just want to thank you all for showing up. We have, we have your backs, but you had ours. You're the reason why we are where we are today. You're the reason why we're going to be able to celebrate victory on Tuesday as well. And you know that we're going to continue to walk shoulder to shoulder with you to fight for your kids in our classrooms, to make sure that you have the support that you need, and to make sure your schools have what they need to do what we need you to do, right? Making sure our schools are fully resourced, making sure that you are supported, because we want to put our kids first. And I know that they're our kids, right? When you talk about it, they're our kids. And we're going to fight for every single one of them, no matter what. And it is an honor for me today to be able to introduce someone who I know has been at the forefront in this entire country of standing up for educators, showing up on days like today to show you how important it is to re-elect Andy Beshear and myself to continue fighting for you. Becky Pringle, thank you so much for showing up for us today.
I pulled up, people said, "Oh, Becky, you came all the way from Washington, D.C." And I said, "No, I came all the way from Portland, Oregon." And they said, "Wait a minute, what?" I said, "Yes, I flew on the red eye." I haven't been asleep yet.
It's a long flight.
It's a long flight.
Yes, it is.
And they said, "Becky, why did you do that?" I said, because Governor Beshear has always showed up for us, and I'm going to show up for him. You know, I don't need to tell you what this governor has done for us. You've heard me talk all year about our right, our responsibility, our moral obligation to fight, to promote, and to protect, and to strengthen public education. As a country, we have to reclaim that as a common good, as something that we know is the foundation of our democracy.
Right.
But you know, this governor understands that we can't stop there. He understands that we actually have to transform public education into something it was never designed to be, actually. A racially and socially just and equitable system that prepares every student, everyone to succeed in this diverse and interdependent world. That's why he's fighting for our freedom to teach and our students' freedom to learn. That's why he's doing that. That's why he's making sure that he is centering the respect of educators, not only their professional pay, but he respects them as the professionals they are, and then he's making sure that they can retire with dignity, right?
Yes.
But not just that. He works for working class people. He's made sure that this economy is thriving and people have jobs. Yeah. He's making sure that we can act as a collective voice. But you know all of that. So this is what I need to say. You know this, but you don't always remember. You are the most trusted voice in every community in this state. Everyone. No pressure, KEA. But this is what I expect. I expect us to re-elect this governor. That's what I expect. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to channel your inner Bishop Desmond Tutu. I wish I could shut up, but I can't and I won't. I need you to get everybody who likes you or loves you or intends to keep living with you to get out to vote right now. Right now. Right now. We will deliver a win for a governor who has delivered wins for every one of our babies. Everyone. And it is my great honor.
I'm good. That was great.
take up offering right now. It's my great honor to introduce someone who understands. I love you in all Kentucky, I do. I really do, I love you. But you need to be so proud of your governor. Oh, yeah. That's why he is impacting. We got his back. Governors all over this country. Right. Yes. He's impacting policy all over this country. Yes. So he's not just doing this for Kentucky's kids. He's doing this for this nation's kids. Yes. So it is my great honor and privilege to give to you our next governor again of the great state of Kentucky.
Folks, in 2019, we came together. This group, we shocked the world, and we beat Matt Bevin. And in 5 days, we're going to beat Daniel Cameron, too. I have been proud to be a pro-public education attorney general and a pro-public education governor. I was proud that we stood together when they tried to illegally cut your pensions. We took them to the Supreme Court. Together, we won and saved the retirements of so many public servants. And I have been proud, as governor, to propose the best budgets for public education that we have seen in decades in Kentucky. And I've been proud to veto every anti-public education bill. And I look forward to vetoing every anti-public education bill the next 4 years. We have been there for each other in a special way. And it's because we know what you do is so critical. Listen, I love being number 2 in per capita economic development in the country. Wow. We're coming off our 2 best years of economic development in our history. Being number 3 in creating rural jobs, building the 2 biggest battery plants on planet Earth, being home to the biggest investment in the history of Ford and Amazon, being ranked 5th in our investments in infrastructure, 5th in bringing prosperity to our people. But in those rankings, for the first time ever, number 1 in our region, beating out 2 states called Tennessee and Texas. I love all that. But I know we can't stay there. If we are 44th in starting teacher pay and 40th in average teacher pay. Folks, there's nothing average about a teacher. There is nothing average about an educator. And so you will see us continue to fight every single day to get you that giant raise you deserve, every single one of you. We've been the administration that in every budget has not only funded raises, in every budget we proposed fully funding transportation costs for every single school district. In every single budget we funded technology and textbooks, mental health care, not just for our kids, but our educators too, listening to you and trying to meet every one of your needs, because we can't stay number 2 in per capita economic development if we're 44th in average in starting teacher pay. This is a competition for talent, for your talent. And we know we need a lot more of you out there educating our children. I'm proud that Will and Lila go to Frankfort Independent Schools, a public middle school, a public high school, where their teachers invest in them. And I know that I would not be here today without Diane Woods and every other educator that believed in me. I only got sent to her office once. Thankfully, she let me out of it. She looked at me and she said, "What are you doing here?" And then I had to explain. But folks, we are truly in the 4th quarter. When you look at last time, just winning by over 5,300 votes, it was 1.5 votes per precinct. That means every door you knock, every phone call you make, every conversation with parents or others that you have, every time you explain that Daniel Cameron is for vouchers that will steal tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars from our public schools, every single one of those conversations matter. And we are at the start of 3 days of early voting, which gives us more opportunity than ever before. So we need your very best today, Thursday, your very best tomorrow, Friday, your very best on Saturday. We need folks out knocking doors Saturday, Sunday, Monday, leading into Election Day. We have a chance to create a turnout
and an electorate that we haven't seen before, because while other states restricted voting rights, we expanded them here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And the early data back from Fayette County is people are turning out in droves. We got to send this General Assembly a message. When they give us early voting days, we're going to fill them up with voters and make sure that we keep each and every one of them. And you will continue to see us fight for a better future for every Kentucky child. Folks, and we're creating a good job for everybody that we can get healthy enough, trained enough, and yes, educated enough to fill. We can not only supercharge our economy, leapfrog other states' economies, but we can do wonders to combat generational poverty, to restore hope where it's been lost. We have a chance with this job creation to make sure that every child, every single one, for generations to come, have more opportunity than we ever dreamed of. Is that worth fighting for? Are you ready to knock the doors? Are you ready to get people to vote? Are you ready to win? Are you ready to be Daniel Campbell?